Welcome to Set Apart Podcast. My name is Oscar. I'm the host of the show. Today's episode 45, and it's a special episode because for the last couple of weeks, everybody has been asking questions, and today we're going to answer them. There's a lot of crazy questions, a lot of good questions, and we appreciate, honestly, the questions and the support that everybody has been giving us almost for over a year now. So let's get right into it. First question. What advice do you have for someone starting out in construction?
A couple people asked this.
All right. So starting in construction is very different than starting a construction company. So we're going to talk about starting in construction. The first thing that I want for people to kind of know about starting construction is that there's different things that you can do in construction. You can do construction management. You can do building construction. You can do architecture. You can do engineering. There's a lot of things that you can do within construction. That's like in construction specific on the university level. There's a lot of people who work here that do like Taylor. She studied marketing and she does marketing construction. Foz studied accounting, does accounting and construction. Jazz studied HR and business, does that also in construction. So there's a lot of things that you can do that are not construction related that you can apply in the construction industry. But for actual construction, say you kind of like construction, you kind of don't know what to do. Let's say you're in high school. Number one thing I would do is try to get into either Miami-Dade or FIU. If you can get into FIU, highly recommend it. It has an incredible construction management program where they really, from the beginning, show everything that you need to know about construction in a very detailed way. And maybe you don't want to go to school. You really don't need to go to school to be in construction. You can just start working construction and start getting hands-on. Maybe you want to get your GC license. If you want to go the GC route, you will need a certain amount of experience. You need more experience, actually, if you want to get your GC license, if you don't have a degree. And we can kind of show on the screen the different levels and how you can, apply and be, you can qualify for taking the state test. So if you have a 4-year degree, you only need 1 year of actual experience. But if you have no degree, you need much more experience on the field. So if you want to get a general contractor's license, you can do that. There's a lot of people who work here. There's a lot of people in construction that don't have a construction license, but they're in construction. You do not need to be a general contractor to work in construction. One thing really has nothing to do with the other. If that doesn't answer your question fully, you can send us a DM and we'll hope we can help you out on that one. Who is John Bell's COO? So COO. Chief Operating Officer. That's a good question. So every business has different structures. You have a CEO, you have a president, you have a COO, you have different people who have a different role and a different hierarchy. When you start a company, you'll realize that you're the COO, the CEO, the marketing director, and the janitor. There's so many things that you do when you're starting a company because you have to, they say you have to have multiple hats. I essentially am the company's COO, and the CEO is the person that actually runs the operations of the business, and what we do technically on, in the office and on site. How are our projects being developed? How are we on schedule? Talking to the actual client, talking to the employees, talking to the team members. There's a lot of things that a CEO does and pushes the actual culture of the operation side of the business that as a CEO, which I'm also the CEO, does things more maybe high level, things that have to do with business development, things that have to do with the culture, things with the brand, and how we're expanding maybe our reach where the CEO doesn't do that. So to answer your question, I'm the CEO, the CEO, and the president. Presidente. With all the opportunities for jobs, how do you decide which ones to bid on? It's a good question. The first thing we do is we want to work for good clients. Well, first of all, we want to work on projects that we actually do. So commercial projects, it'd be a government project, a healthcare project, private project. It needs to be a project that we actually like and that we actually do. After we've gone through that, step, the next one is seeing the client. Who is this client? How many times have a client, done a project like this. This is the first time. Do they know the steps of construction? Do they understand what's happening? Do they understand that they need an architect? Do they understand the process and the length of it? Because one thing that's really important for us is that people can understand and value what John Bell Construction brings to the table. And it's very hard for the person at the first time they've ever done construction to really value us, to know. It's kind of like when you're dating. Your first boyfriend or girlfriend, you can't really gauge if they're a good boyfriend or girlfriend until you have the second one or the third one or the fourth one. So somebody that's experienced in our industry, that's developed different projects and understands what's happening, is definitely somebody that we want to work with, and understanding what their expectations are. The number one thing as a business that we're trying to do is manage expectations. So if their expectation is to start in a month or finish in 3 months, or their expectation is to maybe do it without a permit, or they expect, I don't know, just crazy, unrealistic expectation, that's a project that we're not going to be doing for that client. So as long as it's a project that we do, it's a good client with reasonable expectations and somebody in a job that's going to make us better, that job is definitely something we're going to pursue aggressively. Oh, also, it's also important on the jobs that we bid that if we estimate a project, that's the project that we are fully committed to. I've heard that other companies maybe estimate the project and later maybe back out or whatever it is. When we have given the green light to the client that yes, we are going to estimate this project, we have all full intention on building that project. We do not estimate projects just to estimate them. We're not an estimating company, we're a construction company. So if you ever give us a project and we do agree to estimate it, it is our intention that we want to do that project for you guys. Where do you see your field work heading in 10 years? Where do you see yourself? Where do you see your field of work heading in 10 years?
Where I'm assuming they're asking where do you see the construction industry heading in the next 10 years, and then where do you see yourself within that industry?
I think the construction industry, especially in Miami, is going to continue to grow exponentially, and I think we're going to continue to grow with it. I've always hoped that we can grow in front of it and not behind it, and I want us to really be a leader. In 10 years, I really expect for us to be a major player in this construction market. I think we're a respectful company now, and a lot of people know our name, and we do good work, but I don't think we're a major player in this industry, and I think in 10 years, we're going to be definitely top 10 in construction companies in Miami. That's a good question. What was a point or event in your business where you knew you were on the right path? That's a good question. I don't know if I'm on the right path. I think that I'm just joking. I think I knew that we were on the right path when you see clients really appreciating the work that you're doing. When they're saying, "Man, I've worked in, I've hired 10 different general contractors, and this is the best experience I've ever had. This is the best quality I've ever had. The things that you guys bring up, I've never thought of. Like your speed is incredible. I've never seen anybody work as fast." And all these things that we once thought of as like a mission and as a culture, and all these things that we kind of wanted to do, when all that stuff started being actually reciprocated towards us from the client, I knew we were on the right path. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we were the most profitable at that time. I just felt that hearing the clients, understand the service that we were really intentionally trying to give them, and they were telling us that they were happy. That's a point that I felt that, hey, this is something that if people catch, enough people catch wind of what we're doing here at John Bell Construction, the sky's the limit. And honestly, this happened very, very early on. I'd say within the first year of our business, I knew this is exactly what we needed to do. What is the most significant lesson your business has taught you? I want to say patience. Patience is a big thing because you have patience from clients. There's things that they tell you that you might not agree on. You have patience with your employees, things that that you have to maybe deal with that maybe you don't want them to do it that way or whatever it is, but it's just pure patience. Also, you want the company to grow in a certain way. I want the company to be a lot bigger than it is now and be doing jobs bigger than we're doing now. But it's all about patience. It's about understanding that you have to just let the seed continually grow. And there's patience throughout is the most important part. If you're doing this for money and you're doing this for like a quick buck, or you're doing this for fame, or you're doing this for whatever it is, other than really serving like the client and providing like a good product, you're gonna always feel like you're kind of like treading water. So you all have to be patient and just continually do the right thing, do a good, provide a good product, and with time, you'll see that your seed will eventually sprout. What are the 3 most rewarding aspects of working in construction, in the construction business? The number one thing is the face and the expression that clients have when we finish a project. Because people see, at the end of the day, people go into a project really not understanding or really seeing the end goal. Even clients sometimes that have done this for a long time. So to be able to turn in this product completely clean, completely ready, turned over for them to actually use, and that feeling that we have when we finish the project is the best feeling. That's why almost all my motivation comes from that feeling at the end when we're celebrating with them and popping bottles of champagne and we're thanking them. Like no one has anything bad to say that day. It's like everything that we went through during the construction process was worth it. That's one. The other one is when we're able to kind of really bless others and really, make an impact in somebody's life. It can be an employee, it can be a subcontractor. Honestly, it can even be a client. When we have the ability as business owners, it's business owners specifically, to be able to have a really big impact in the life of somebody that, maybe somebody else on the street might not have. Another rewarding aspect also is, being able to drive through these projects and drive down the street and say, hey, look, son, I built that. Hey, babe, I built that. Showing your parents, showing your family, being able to, 10 years forward, look back and say, look, I built that. I was a part of that. There's a lot of people who do a lot of things in business, but they can never really see the product in which they leave. And in construction, it's there standing as long as, as God wants it to. So that is an amazing and very rewarding part of our project in our industry. What would you tell your younger self 9 years ago in business, right? What would you tell your younger self after 9 years of business? I was focus on the employees. When you have a good employee, treat them well, pay them well, love on them, serve them, and try to make them better. At the end of the day, we're all growing here together. We're all learning together. So the employees is something that I would have really focused more on at the beginning. What do you do your younger self 9 years in business? That's a tough one, honestly. I feel like I would tell myself so many different things. I would feel like I almost don't want to tell my younger self anything, because if I were to tell my younger self the reality of what we would have to do in the next 9 years, I don't think my younger self would do it. So I would try to not tell him more than just to do his best job, treat his employees well, and just keep doing what he already knows what to do. What does your hiring process look like? So depending on what position, but we always try our best to hire ahead of maybe a project or before the need is like really, really, required. So we're always kind of putting feelers out. We're always talking to people. We're always in the market for good people, number one. But when we do have to actually hire somebody, we have that job posting on our careers page on our website. After we read all of our resumes, everybody gets that we feel is the right candidate. We'll get a phone interview. After the phone interview, we'd get an in-person interview. And then if they pass the first in-person interview, they'd more than likely get a second in-person interview where they'll meet more people of our team. Because it's kind of like, embedding a new fish into a fish tank. We want to make sure that all the fish are good here. We have a great team here, and this person might be amazing, and I might get along well with them, but we got to make sure that everybody gets along well with them. So it's a very rigorous process. It's not easy to work here and not easy to get hired, but as soon as you do, you're here and for the long run.
Are you guys hiring any positions currently?
Yes, we are looking for construction estimators. We are hiring construction superintendents and construction project managers. All three of those are in the careers page of the John Bell Construction website. What is the process to becoming a vendor on your team? So we are very, very loyal to our current team members in terms of subcontractors and suppliers and all that. I'm very big on if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the end of the day, we want for people to grow with us. There's a lot of people that are with us now that weren't with us when we began, and the people that were with us at the beginning, we wish would still be with us now, but they just couldn't. They couldn't grow with us. They didn't evolve with us. So there's a lot of people that had been emailing me. There are a lot of people that sending me DMs. There's people who are constantly trying to get a contact with me and our estimating department, and it's not really until that opportunity presents itself that that person gets in there. Because when you do get into the door, there's going to be a lot of work that we're going to continue to giving you. So if you want to become a vendor, my biggest recommendation is to email info@johnbellconstruction.com. There, we'll put you in contact with our estimating team. If you want to become a vendor with John Bell Construction, you want to become a supplier with John Bell Construction, you want to become a subcontractor with John Bell Construction, you need to estimate projects. We're not going to just knock on your door and say, hey, we landed a job, do you want to do it? No, you have to be estimating projects for a long time, honestly, before we give you the opportunity, because it's not fair for the other people that have been estimating projects and then you just come out of nowhere and we give you the job. So you got to put in the legwork, and we want to see what you're capable of, and that starts at estimating. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? Go to study construction management. A guy named Pedro Rebodero, mentor of mine. I had done architecture, and then after architecture, I went to engineering, and then I talked to him, and he told me, you are spinning your wheels. You need to study construction management. And honestly, that's the best piece of advice anyone has ever given me. How did you guys establish your brand and awesome culture? That's a good question. The brand starts from day one. The name of the company is John Bell. I always wanted the company to sound, honestly, like Anglo and American. I wanted it to sound like two people. I wanted it to sound, like this big company from, Utah. And the brand started even before we even created the brand. I wanted it to always be something that it was never an impediment for someone to ever hire us. So it needs to be crisp, it needs to be clean, it needs to be professional. And after that brand was actually created, I wanted, and then we've all wanted for that brand to be a brand of like excellence, of people who take pride, of good people. So the way you dress, the way you talk, the way that your office looks, any type of product that you externally put out there is part of your brand. Don't ever think that your brand is just your Instagram, which is a big part of it. Don't think it's just your YouTube. No, it's your business card. It's the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you cut your hair, the way you treat your mom, the way you do anything. The way that you are as a person is your brand. Awesome culture. I think it's part of like that lessons learned that I had, where I realized that there's only so much that Oscar Morejón can do. And if we don't create a good environment for people to work and we don't have fun doing the things that we do, we're just going to continue to spin our wheels. So we started hiring good people, really interviewing them, understanding what type of things they want to do. You can be an incredible construction manager, but if you're not a good person, or you're maybe a boring person and you don't really have a lot of in common with us, then, you might feel a need initially, but long term, you're not good for the team. You're not good for the culture. So hiring good people and making sure that we don't just put people in the seat is a big one. And then just maintaining it and having a lot of fun. And I would also say celebrating the wins, the small wins. A lot of celebrating. We do a lot of celebrating around here. How do you balance scaling with employee happiness? I think How do we balance scaling with employee happiness?
Like as the company grows, how do you keep your
People
employees-
happy?
Yeah.
No, I get it. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna say that.
My bad.
Because I think happiness is important. You know, I think everybody wants to be happy. I also feel that happiness sometimes is a little bit overrated. It's super important, but at the end of the day, we do have a job to get done. How do we balance scaling employee happiness? It's tough. Honestly, it's the toughest part of my job because I want to push and I want to push and I want us to go fast on the jobs and I want us to do a great job and I want us to make money and I want us to win awards and I want us to put content. I want us to be the best. But like to what extent? Like what are we giving up during that process? So you just gotta, as a business owner, I try to have my ear to the ground and I try to ask people how they're doing and not just ask them, hey, how you doing? No, but like really ask them like, how are they doing? And are you okay? Are you happy? Like, you know, I can tell when someone's not having a good day. I can tell when somebody is going through something. And that's part of that employee happiness. I think keeping people happy as employees is just understanding that you as their boss care for them and that as stressful as the environment might be and how construction is, that you're there for them as a friend and as a boss. So I think that's the most important thing. It's because you can take them out, you know, to drinks and you can take them to happy hour, but that's just like kind of like putting a Band-Aid on truly deep down inside their happiness. But if they're unhappy with their spouse or they're unhappy with, I don't know, anything that's going on in their life, if you don't try to get to like the root cause of it, that person's always going to be unhappy. So just having a pulse on your employees and just knowing that, for them knowing that you truly are their friend, like you have to be their friend. And I know that a lot of people feel that, you know, you shouldn't be their friend because you're their boss. But no, that's not the environment or the culture that we have around here. That's a good question, by the way. It's hard to keep that balance. What causes the cultural challenges and moral decline within the company? Well, one is when not everybody's on the same page. You know, I might want us to do a certain type of project and I want us to maybe grow or we're going in a certain direction or get a certain client and maybe some people aren't on board with that. That's hard because at the end of the day, I'm trying to land different projects and we're trying to land different projects within our company. And that might stretch people out of their comfort zone and it might stress them out. And then when people start getting stressed out, the culture kind of, their own like energy kind of changes. So having like a good pulse to what the employees actually want, kind of forewarning them of what you want to do. And it doesn't mean that they have to do everything that you want and you have to do everything they want. It's just also creating that expectation that, hey, this is where the company is going so that they can ramp up and they can prepare, and also talking to them about what's the benefit in their life for us going in this direction. When I wasn't doing that as a company and I was just going, you know, balls to the wall, not really caring, you know, who I dragged down with me, nobody wants to work for that type of person, you know. So I think that it took losing 90% of our staff and our team for me to realize, hey, the way that we're going about things and the way that I'm going about things is not the best thing for this company. And we need to really make sure that everybody is, you know, on the same board. Because, again, we're like a family here. So, you know, we go through the good things, but we also go through the bad things. So it's really important that everybody's always on the same page. What recommendation can you give to someone looking to apply for an internship as a student? So the first one is emailing us, info@johnbellconstruction.com. You can also go to the careers page of our website, and you can be able to apply there. It's internships are hard because there's a lot of students, and we don't have that many like positions available. I wish we can have a lot more, but my recommendation is to be involved. Keep being involved. Keep sending us messages. Keep emailing us. You know, show up to our office, like, or maybe not even our office, somebody else's office. You want something, you should never take no for an answer if that's really what you want. But we love interns. We have a lot of interns that pass through this door, and a lot of students that are actually working here now. So the person who wants it the most is gonna work here. Favorite company event so far? Sheesh. What do you think? I feel like we have a company event every day.
Once a month.
Favorite company event so far? So we went to Fiola for dinner.
The party bus?
The party bus. We rented a party bus and we went to dinner. We had some a little bit of celebrating. Before we went to dinner. Oh, we went paintballing. Paintballing, number one by far. Paintballing was an amazing time. Yeah, Ron missed it. The paintballing was awesome because like everybody got a bruise. Some people got hit in the head, but everybody was like showing their little bruises. But what an incredible time! So if you're a business owner and you're looking for a good event, honestly, paintballing was amazing. What was the name of the people we went to?
Family Paintball Center.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, we're getting into some fun ones.
All right, here we go. What's your favorite gym workout? Biceps. The girls love the biceps. What's your favorite one, Ron? Lat pull down. That's way too technical. The biceps.
All right.
Chicks does the biceps. What's your biggest pet peeve? Biggest pet peeve is ugly nails. Any girl that has ugly nails, their nails are grown out, or you can tell a lot about a girl that has ugly nails. And people who are late. I hate people who are late. Remember, if you are on time, you're late, and if you're late, don't even bother showing up. If you can have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be? Jesus not included. If you can have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would he be? Donald Trump. I would love to go to dinner with Donald Trump. What's your least favorite part of the day? Least favorite part of the day. Yeah, that is a good one. Least favorite part of the day. Honestly, waking up. Like, waking up early, because we always have to wake up early, but I love to sleep. Like, my favorite thing, honestly, to do is nothing. So, waking up early is the worst. I wish we can wake up at 9 o'clock every day. Why don't you like toppings on your burgers? My goodness. I feel like a burger with ketchup is plenty. And who wrote this question?
Maria.
Maria did this? So stupid. Who did this? I don't know. I'm spoiled. My mom spoiled me growing up, and she would take them all off for me. So now I only like ketchup. Favorite memory of 2024. I think that my favorite memory of 2024 was honestly when we renovated the office. We've always had like kind of like cultural shifts in our company, and when we renovated the office, Taylor was about to start. It was a new fresh start in our company, and I feel like we made like a major pivot at that point. So I don't know, when we renovated, the office was awesome. Favorite employee.
Wait, you want to know who asked this one?
That's Maria probably too. Yeah. Favorite employee. I feel like my mom. They all mean. Well, listen. I don't know if I can't tell you who my favorite employee is, but on April 26th at our 9th year birthday party and at our foundation kickoff, I'm gonna give out Employee of the Year. So you'll find out who that one is.
It's a big one.
3 things on your bucket list. Personally? All right. I want to get to 200 pounds. That's a big one for me. I want to do our first mid-rise, high-rise project. That to me is very, very important. And I want to do $250 million in sales. So do we go into We went from personal to
Yeah, you
to
went
professional.
straight like.
What is that?
Well,
I-
didn't you had like a bucket list item that you accomplished already, right?
Which one was that?
The
Oh yeah, my first tattoo. Yes. My first tattoo was a bucket list item.
Show us.
Show my biceps. I feel I don't really have a lot. I do have bucket lists, but what I do is every year I set short-term goals and long-term goals, and I go through them and I try to attack them aggressively. So there's a lot that I want to do. Like it's honestly hard to put 3 in there, but honestly I want to know what are your 3. I feel like people have so many different types of goals.
Well, I think it was also bucket list, not goals. Like I
Okay,
feel like
bucket
goals
list.
are different than bucket list.
Bucket list.
Like, do you want to climb Mount Everest? Do you want to snowboard in Japan? Like, right? Am I?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I guess everything that I do is like my family and John Bell. So like, I want to build a big house. I want to build like one day
Okay,
a massive
that's fun.
house. Okay, I want to build a massive house.
Kind of a goal too. But.
Yeah, I really want to build a big house. I want our company to grow. I want our family to grow. I'm not a big bucket list type of person, to be honest with you. And remember, I live one life, so it's hard to like separate John Bell and my personal life. I'm sorry. I wish I would tell you that I want to, climb Mount Everest or eat vegetables. If you had one food dish for the rest of your life, what would it be? I would say it's going to be steak, rice, and beans. Steak, rice, and beans for the rest of my life. I can do it.
Okay.
Favorite movie of all time? Ooh. I would say The Sandlot. The Sandlot. Sandlot's a great movie.
When are we gonna have a movie night?
That'll be our next event. But like an old movie or a new movie?
No, any movie. Like movie night, any movie.
That would be amazing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everybody's gonna want to watch a very different movie, and we're gonna end up watching everything the girls want to watch.
Harry Potter.
How much revenue does your company make per year? This year we're on pace to do about 30 million.
You. And this is the last question.
The last question. How is your garden going? How's the garden doing? The garden's doing great. I know exactly who asked this. I love plants. One of the things that I do a lot my spare time is take care of the garden, our orchids, water them, fertilize them. If you ever see me watering plants, it's probably because I'm stressed out. But the garden is doing absolutely amazing. And if you want to follow along my garden, follow me on Oscar's Green Thumb on Instagram. So listen, there's a lot of things that you guys asked. I hope that I answered as much as I can. And if not, keep watching the podcast. Keep, asking me questions, commenting, sending DMs. The purpose of this podcast is for you to know more about me, more about us, and how we can serve you. We love what we do. My bucket list, honestly, is to keep growing this company, to keep growing our family, keep growing everybody around us, and continue to make an impact in our life. I'm not even thinking about other things at this point in my life. We love what we do around here. I love what we do here. And honestly, we do it for you, the client, the subscriber, the follower, the people that we are making an impact. And if you don't think that we're making an impact, you're very, very wrong. There's a lot of people that have commented and subscribed and have told us what us as John Bell Construction, this podcast has done for them, what our foundation has done in their life. And it's a massive responsibility that we love, honestly. And I can't wait to continue doing it. So we'll catch you guys in the next one.